you tired of really pushing your team to hit your goals and you're only experiencing burnout, frustration, and mediocre results? Well, in today's podcast episode, we are talking about how to build a team that hits your goals without burning out. And Dr. Sabrina and I are joined by our How to Hire the Best strategist, Caitlin Beaver. Caitlin, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I feel like the gang is back together again. I'm so excited to be here.
We are thrilled to have you. So first, we're just going to dig into the 3 traits that A players have that really fuel results without burnout. So Dr. Sabrina, can you give us some feedback on your thoughts?
Yeah. So first off, I want to say I have been in that place where I was trying to push results and I felt like I was just constantly behind the team pushing, come on, guys, come on, let's get there, let's go, and getting nowhere and getting so tired and so burnt out. And as we made some shifts on our team, things have gotten so much easier and I just step out of the way and the team runs with it. And so as I step back and reflect on what's the difference and what you need to look for in your A players. So first off, A players are intrinsically motivated. They just want to do a good job. And if you have a team that is not just wanting to be better, if they're not in that place, you don't have A players, and it's time to own that. Okay. That's number one. Trait number one is we just want to show up and do really good. And then the number 2 is always wanting to grow. And when we, as the business owner, can channel, like, here's our vision, here's where we're headed, this is what we're looking for. All you got to do is lay the vision out, and you have A players intrinsically motivated who want to grow, and they're going to want to hit that vision. And you don't have to help them figure it out because they love to figure it out themselves. That's it.
I love this. And one thing that comes up for me is an A player is someone that's going to come to the business owner or whoever their direct report is with ideas. And Caitlin, you are the perfect example of this, because I remember a couple of years, maybe it's been a couple of years now, when we were at VIP days, our in-person coaching with our clients. You had an idea for a role that you wanted to do and tap the potential. And literally during that retreat, you just wrote out your vision for this role. Can you tell us a little bit about what that looked like?
What happened at VIP days was a pivotal moment for me at Tap the Potential. So I want to preface it with that. We sat down with Dr. Sabrina, I was in person, and she shared her vision with me for where Tap the Potential was going to be in 1 year's time, in a couple of years' time. And we had this opportunity to sit with Dr. Sabrina and talk to her about what was coming up for us and where we really saw us being a gift from our gifts. And I had just gotten out of leadership boot camp. I was really excited to be at VIP days. And that's where we have this opportunity to connect with our top clients. And I was dreaming, and I decided to dream really big. And I shared with Dr. Sabrina that my skill set and background is actually in workforce development and marketing. And when I came to Tap the Potential, I had this incredible growth opportunity to learn sales. And as that evolved, I realized that so many companies, you have the sales team and you have the marketing team. And one seems to blame the other if they're not collectively collaborating towards your vision and towards your goals. And I thought, wouldn't it be so cool if Tap the Potential did it totally different? And we intertwined the two so that sales and marketing would marry each other. And I would lead that initiative. So I talked to Dr. Sabrina about a brand new role that would allow me to take what I was doing in my success team lead role and blend that into our marketing team. And together, our departments work. We are cohesive. We are streamlined today. And that moment when I was talking to Dr. Sabrina about it, we had already had several opportunities to connect. So I was really getting to know her. And I felt comfortable enough to say, like, this is something big. This is something we haven't done before. And I want to give it a shot. What do you think? And that changed everything for me personally, professionally, and for what we've seen happen in the team that has kind of grown with that, because now our marketing team has 3 people in it. Like, how cool is that? And I get to lead fantastic powerhouse women who are really excited about the mission, the vision, and the purpose of Tap the Potential. So that one conversation around visioning, after probably several of one-to-ones, just completely transformed into something that I'm so proud of today. And I absolutely adore that I get to show up being a gift from my gifts, from my strengths, and seeing how that grows the profitability in the business. There's just nothing better than that.
I think this is absolutely amazing, because I remember that conversation. I remember exactly where we were sitting, and I even tell you what I was eating if I was pressed for it. And because I was just blown away by that vision. And the other piece that, Caitlin, you didn't even touch on is how it's evolved even further now, because you have a passion for workforce development and A players and team development and leadership development for A players, because that's a huge gap. Most A players feel like they don't get mentored. And so you have really put significant attention through your role as How to Hire the Best strategist on supporting our clients in making sure that their A players are nurtured and growing and have opportunities for advancement, because that's what A players desire the most. So, and that has fueled our sales and marketing efforts. So it's become something that it's just this positive momentum that continues to build. And Caitlin doesn't even know this yet, but I had a meeting with our integrator yesterday, and we were talking about how can we get Caitlin up at an even higher level to do even more $10,000 an hour work and take more of the doing off of her, so she's leading even more. So more to come on that, Caitlin. But that is how you can take your A players and really, there's no drama. The only drama we have is we have excitement all the time on our team, because things are moving and shaking, but we're not tired. We're not burnt out, because all of us are working more and more from our strengths. So it energizes us.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a perfect example of a moment, Dr. Sabrina, where you spotted that top talent in your team. So because Caitlin morphed into those leadership roles. And, Caitlin, I'm really curious, in How to Hire the Best, as you're listening to business owners, what are you hearing from business owners as you're supporting them with spotting that top talent? What are you hearing that just says, aha, this is an A player?
Well, first I want to say that on the flip side, what I hear and how people can spot when they don't have that A player, and then what I hear when I start to light up and I'm like, oh, you've got it. Typically, when business owners come to me and they express that they're experiencing burnout, or maybe they've had to repeat themselves over and over, maybe they almost feel like they're pulling teeth when they're talking to their A players that just don't know how to overcome challenges. That's when I start to pause and I ask, okay, let's talk about what an A player truly is, and if you have that on your team. On the flip side, when our business owners come in and they say, hey, Caitlin, guess what? I had this conversation with an A player. I felt like, gosh, I had this burning question. I really didn't know what to do or where to go with it. And an A player started asking me questions or started giving me solutions. Or in silo, I brought something up a couple of weeks ago, and oh my goodness, didn't it come back just a couple of weeks later? And I found out that my A player had taken the initiative and tried to solve those challenges. That is when I lean in, we cheer, we do a happy dance, and we say, by George, you've got it. You've got an A player. This is incredible. And now we need to nurture and foster their growth, because that's what A players want next, is that growth piece.
I love this. When I have business owners who say, I was making things too difficult, and one of my team member really simplified things.
That was my favorite.
Dr. Sabrina's raising her hand.
Yeah, I'm that business owner who makes everything too complicated, and my team just makes it easy, and we keep going.
Another amazing indicator is when an A player says, I'm not the one that should be doing this. And a lot of times A players will really keep things on their plate. Like they're that yes person, but as they grow and their leadership skills evolve, we want them to say, I'm not the one that should be doing this. It's outside of my zone of genius, or someone else, maybe someone that has more of an admin role should be doing this task to free me up to do other things. And that's what we're teaching in Leadership Boot Camp and How to Hire the Best, right?
Yes. I mean, we are teaching these A players to make their time worth $10,000 an hour in the business and leadership boot camp and in coach approach. And so what that means is they are learning about the sweet spot of the business. They're learning what drives profitability. They're learning about their strengths. And so they're looking at, okay, what can I do from my strengths that serves our top clients in our sweet spot and drives profitability? And how do I make things easier or unnecessary by focusing there? And what they recognize is that they can do a lot by focusing there, and it doesn't take as much time. So this creates opportunities for your A players to take things off their plate, and which again reduces burnout for yourself and for the team, and gets everyone in the business thinking about, how do I make my time worth $10,000 an hour? So it's not just the business owner anymore. It's the A players thinking about that too. So by the way, if you want to download the chart of $10,000 an hour activity that you can share with your A players, you can go to tapthepotential.com/10K.
And it's a huge help if you share this with your team members. I always like to say, when we're in How to Hire the Best, the number one thing you can do as a business owner is role model. Role model your immutable loss. Role model the tools and the tricks that you're using to make decisions in the business, because that's what's going to have the biggest reward. And from an A player's perspective, I'll talk to A players all the time and they'll say, Caitlin, I have all this on my plate. What do I do? I'm an A player. I'm so energized by what I'm doing, but I have this laundry list and I'm not sure how to prioritize. What do I do? And that can also cause some of that burnout that Dr. Sabrina just mentioned. And I'm here to say, with Leadership Bootcamp, I show up with solutions instead of questions. I have the opportunity to say, all right, I may know that I have these activities that need to be done, but my $10,000 an hour activities, I have the chart up on my wall. Actually, I wish I could turn my screen around so you could see it, but I have my own chart of $10,000 an hour activities that anchors me and the work that I'm doing. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that I'm working towards the right results.
Okay, I love this. So let's talk about goals. So the topic of the podcast is how to build a team that hits your goals without burning out. Your team needs to know what those goals are.
Yes.
And where they fit into it. They need to know what their goals are. And not only do they need to know what their goals are, but they need to know what is realistic. So I went through a long period of time of taking on too many quarterly goals, and I wanted to do them all.
Me too.
Yeah. Caitlin and I can attest to that. And that leads to team member burnout. And really, once I have learned to set realistic goals, and then also be okay with saying, okay, this might take me a little bit longer. What has happened over the years is I'm more effectively reaching my goals. And that's really important. So the way that your A players are going to thrive is by creating these goals, including them on the goal, letting them know what their deliverables, what their measurables are. And then you've laid the ground for expectations. So Caitlin, talk to us a little bit about that. What do you encounter as A players are given that firm foundation and structure? And that's beyond the business vision. But when an A player has, say, for example, set KPIs or a quarterly goal to work towards, how do you see that team, that A player showing up differently?
Oh, they light up. I can say that from personal experience, coming from other organizations that didn't have that structure in place to now. But our A players fall back in love with your business, our business together. It really feels like they're taking ownership over the results that they're responsible for. They're taking ownership over their growth. They're holding themselves accountable. It's like this reinvigoration when we know what our expectations are, and can consistently align the expectations with our strengths. Because sometimes our business owners may not know what comes naturally to us or what is a learned strength. So these conversations and this structure allows for you to continue to really hone in on what's working and what's not working around expectations. And I find that A players are jumping for joy, and they're really excited to come to work and to see their colleagues and to work with your clients, because they feel part of something that is bigger than them.
Oh, it's ownership. So Tap the Potential is Dr. Sabrina's business, it's Dr. Sabrina's baby. But because we are so involved and we're working in our zone of genius, we're working from our strengths, we have our own babies within the company. It feels like our business. And then the business owner has a true thinking partner, right? We're taking her ideas, the business owner's ideas, we're kicking them up a notch and we're taking it to the next level. And we want to be a part of those solutions, the ideation, the implementation, because we're the ones that are delivering on it every day.
Exactly.
This just really, you're hearing it straight from our team. Like, we're being totally transparent here of how we operate because we want you to see that just because you might have struggled to this point and you feel like just it's so burdensome to lead the team that you currently have and to even make small changes and get things moving, and it takes forever. It doesn't have to stay that way. You can quickly turn it around once you learn how to hire these A players and get some guidance from us around how to support them and get them in focusing in the right direction. Like, this can be such a rapid turnaround in the business. So I want to offer hope that, no matter how hard it has been to this point, you don't have to stay there. There's no reason for that. And you have an opportunity here. Our entire team at Tap the Potential is on fire to help business owners like you take your life back from your business. And Melissa, I want you to talk about the 4-week vacation promise at this point in Tap the Potential for our clients.
Yeah. Here's how we do it. In our Better Business, Better Life program, we support you with attracting your A players. So we're really looking at who you need on your team. And the cool thing about the Better Business, Better Life program is you also have how to hire the best included. So you're getting coaching in group in the Tap the Potential solution, but you're also getting Caitlin and Dr. Sabrina and how to hire the best, their coaching. So we're supporting you through job descriptions and job ads. And then we're kicking it up a step further in the Better Business, Better Life program. And we're helping you build out onboarding plans for your team members. And when you work with us, you come away with this 30, 60, 90-day onboarding for each role in your business. So we work with you as you're hiring to set that up. So your team members come in ready to jumpstart their role with a clearly defined plan and goals. And that's something that most business owners don't have, right? We just are kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall, but everything is structured out. So with that combination, and as you work through the Tap the Potential solution in the Better Business, Better Life program, it takes about 5 hours a week. And we're guiding you through coaching. You have things that you're doing outside of group, but it only takes 5 hours a week. And we guarantee you at the end of that year, you can take a 4-week vacation.
Fully unplugged for vacation in 12 months time when you come in in our Better Business, Better Life program. And I want to just also offer another sneak peek at where we're headed at Tap the Potential. We are on the cutting edge of how to use AI to make your time worth $10,000 an hour and your team's time worth $10,000 an hour. So right now it's 5 hours a week that you have to give us. But I would anticipate with the innovation that we're using with AI and how we're teaching our clients to use AI to serve the sweet spot in the business, that we're going to be cutting that down to a few hours, maybe 3 hours. Maybe next year it'll be 3 hours a week and to a 4-week vacation for you. So you're going to learn from us how to become so much more impactful with your $10,000 an hour time. And your team is going to be learning that as well. So this is like putting your business, like lighting the torch. Let's tap that potential. Let's go. So if this excites you, if you're ready to come on board with us, just book a call. Go to tapthepotential.com. It's going to take you, there's a link to book a call. It'll take you straight to Caitlin's calendar. She's going to talk with you about what's currently going on in your business, what you want to go on in your business, and lay out like, here's steps 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to get you there.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, Dr. Sabrina. And thank you, Caitlin, for being here. And your next step after tuning in today is go to tapthepotential.com and book a call, and we'll take it from there. Bye for now, and we will see you on the next episode of the Profit by Design podcast.